Hey guys, it's Brianna and this is Ainsley. I am including her in this video because she does not want to be put down right now. In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how I put together my bulk freezer meal prep on a budget. And when I say on a budget, I mean it, because I made, 36 meals for $1.21 a meal. Yeah, you're gonna wanna find out how I did this. So while you're here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and then hit the bell so that you'll be notified every time that we upload. We do plan on uploading a new video at least once a week. And look at this face. You wanna see more of this face. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have the final price breakdown of everything at the end of this video, along with some examples of how I put these together. So if you want to see how we put together our healthy, and they're really healthy, freezer meal preps on a budget, keep watching. So here are all the ingredients that I'm going to use for this budget freezer meal prep in bulk, and I get all of these at Kroger. Here's a close-up of the garlic, the liquid aminos, liquid smoke, the spices that I'm going to use. These will all go in the Mexican meal prep. Then I have chicken, broccoli, I have some jalapenos, zucchini, green onion, and some canned beans, tomatoes, and tomato sauce, and all of that is going to be used in these meal preps. So here I'm cutting up the chicken. It's not the most attractive thing to watch, so I have sped it up quite a bit. This is going to be the cubed chicken that I use for my Mexican freezer meal prep. I'm cutting off any of the fat, little extra pieces that I don't necessarily like to look at, and I'm setting those to the side. I'm not throwing that away. I'm actually going to repurpose it, and I'll show you how I do that here in a minute. But that's the best way to save money when you're doing these big meal preps and trying to do them on a budget, is to really utilize every bit of what you spend your money on. So I'm finishing up this cubed chicken. I've already got one chicken breast in there. I'm adding the second. I usually like to do portions of 2 chicken breasts per bag. And now I'm going in to cut up the Asian chicken. I'm doing this one in strips just because it seems a little more authentic for the Asian cuisine. You could totally just throw in whole chicken breasts and do it that way. However, I noticed that when you cut it up into smaller pieces, it's a lot faster to thaw. It's also a lot faster to cook. So I definitely would recommend cutting up your chicken, and I know it's kind of gross and I know it takes a long time, but it's 100% worth the effort because it makes it that much easier when you go to make those meals in the future. So now I'm going to put this chicken up, sanitize everything, and move on to the next step. So now I'm turning my stove on high, and I'm going to boil the chicken scraps in some water with a little bit of salt. This is kind of making like a homemade chicken broth. It's going to save me money. It's also utilizing the scraps that I wouldn't normally eat, and all this chicken that we boil is going straight to the dog or the cat. While that chicken is boiling, I'm going to start cutting up the vegetables. I'm starting with the broccoli, and you can totally cut up this stem and use it in meal prep as well. However, Alex and I do not like the stem for whatever reason, so I am setting that aside, and I'm cutting up these scraps to make them a little smaller. Again, it makes them faster to cook. It also makes them easier to eat. You can also use frozen broccoli instead. However, we kind of like the crunch that the fresh broccoli gives. It just keeps a little bit of a better texture, but you can totally use frozen broccoli, and this step is a lot faster. Save you some boredom, I have fast forwarded to where I'm putting up the last of the broccoli. I did cut up a total of 4 crowns, which made quite a bit of broccoli. I was pretty impressed with it. And now I'm going to move on to the jalapenos. This is for the Mexican meal prep. I'm cutting them this way because I like to take out the membranes and the seeds to not make them quite as spicy. If you really like spicy, you can leave the seeds and everything in there and just slice it up and throw it in that way. I, however, like to kind of clean them out. You can see that I'm scraping up the seeds and the white part, which are the hottest parts of the pepper. And I'm going to put aside the skins, wash those off, and then come back and cut those up. So now that I've cut up the 2 peppers, I have washed off the skins in the sink to get off any remaining seeds, and now I'm dicing them up to be smaller. This just makes it easier to disperse between the different bags. So I know that when you hear zucchini, it's probably a little confusing. That's not really a typical Mexican or really even a typical Asian vegetable. However, it's a really good way to throw in another serving of vegetables and make these even healthier without being super intrusive on the flavor, because they really just kind of absorb whatever they're marinated in. So here I am just dicing up 3 zucchini, and I'm going to disperse these fairly evenly between the Mexican and the Asian. Also want to add that you can really alter these to however you like. You can also add bell pepper, you can add all kinds of other vegetables. This is just what I had bought today. And also use what's in season or on sale. There's no point in spending a ton of money in off-season produce when you can find something in season or frozen. Since I sanitized the counter after cutting up the chicken, I'm just wiping this down with a wet paper towel for now. And this is how that chicken looks after boiling for about 30 minutes. So now here's the fun part where we get to flavor everything. I'm starting with the Asian meal preps. I like to do all of the same flavor at the same time. And I'm going to go in with liquid aminos. You can also use soy sauce. This is a natural version. It's kind of the paleo quote-unquote version. I really like it, but it's just totally whatever is up to you or whatever you have on hand. I add quite a bit of liquid to these just because I really like to marinate the meat and the vegetables, but it also helps it cook easier when you take it out, because the more liquid that you have in there, the less likely it is to burn. So now for the garlic, I use this pre-mixed garlic that we got from Kroger, and I use a lot, I'm not gonna lie. I think I put like 3 tablespoons in each bag. You can go lighter, you can go heavier, it's whatever fits your taste, but we really like garlic in this house, so we go heavy on it. And now I'm going to distribute the broccoli. I am just using my hands, I'm not measuring this out. You definitely can, just like with everything else, you can measure it. We aren't tracking any macros or calories or anything at this point, so we're just kind of going with if it's in general healthy, we don't really need to measure it, if that makes sense. So here I am just putting handfuls into each bag and distributing all the broccoli. I'm only using the broccoli in the Asian meal preps. So while I was dealing with all the vegetables, I had strained off the broth from the boiled chicken and let it cool. And now I'm actually going to go in and put some of that chicken broth in each bag. Again, this is adding liquid, and it's going to make it freeze a lot easier and also help marinate the vegetables and the meat together. And I only show putting 1 cup of broth into each of these bags, but I had enough at the end. I added another cup to each of these Asian ones as well. And the last touch on these is to add the zucchini. So to finish these up, I squeeze out what little air is left and close it up, and I put them aside so that I can start on the Mexican meal preps. As you can see, I have opened 4 cans of diced tomatoes, and I'm adding 1 can of tomato sauce. These were on sale for 50 cents a piece at Kroger, and they're also all sugar-free. Read those labels, people. I want to give that a quick stir so that I can start adding the spices. First, I'm going to start with cumin. I just really like cumin, so I'm adding 4 tablespoons. You do not have to add that much. Again, you can do it to your own liking. Next is chili powder. I just do 1 tablespoon of that. And what I don't show is that I do a little dash of nutmeg, which is what I'm putting here, and a little dash of cayenne pepper. Again, alter it to however you like. And coming back with the trusty garlic, I add like 2 tablespoons of garlic to this whole mixture, and I'm going to stir that all together. So now I'm ready to assemble the Mexican meal preps. I'm going in with 1 cup of the tomato and spice mixture and putting into each of the bags. I ended up having some extra at the end, so I did put a little bit more in each bag. I just try to distribute it as evenly as possible. And now that all the tomato mixture has been used, I'm going to go in and add a cup of broth to each bag. And once that's done, I'm going to add a handful of zucchini, and I'm just going to distribute whatever is left of the zucchini that I had cut up. For some extra protein, I'm going to add some kidney beans. I have dark and light red kidney beans. So I'm opening those cans, and I'm going to rinse them in the sink in a strainer. Get all that extra stuff off. And then just use my hands again and just try to evenly distribute a little bit into each of these Mexican meal prep bags. And now I'm just going to add a little bit of the diced up jalapeno to each bag. This is another one of those totally optional steps, but I just really love how the liquid smoke adds flavor to this Mexican chicken meal prep. It's definitely not necessary, but it does add a lot of good flavor if you happen to have it. So this is a little closer of a view how I try to close these. I close it all the way and then open just the corner. And then I push out the air and I kind of flip it around to mix all the liquid, the meat, the vegetables together and try to lay it as flat as possible. And then I stagger which way the openings go. And I try to stack them like that in my freezer. Obviously I don't have a whole lot of room, but there you can kind of see how they're stacked. And since I forgot to film it earlier, I'm using the Method Anti-Bac Surface Spray to sanitize my counters after using all the raw meat and stuff. And this is in the citrine scent, which I think smells amazing. I will link down below where you can get this. This is a much more natural alternative to other kitchen cleaners like Windex or Lysol, and that's why I prefer to use this. So here is one of the preparations for the Asian meal prep. You can see the chicken and the broccoli. We've also got some noodles, a scrambled egg, and some green onion. And here is how I prepared the Mexican meal prep. I just put it over plain rice, added some fresh avocado, green onion, and salsa. If you eat dairy, you can also include some sour cream, some queso, whatever you want to make this your own. I got started on doing these freezer meal preps because Alex and I both work. We have a 6-month-old daughter, and during the week, the last thing either of us wants to do is stand and cook a long meal. However, with a 6-month-old daughter, we also have to kind of stay in our budget range and not go too heavy on fast food, going out to eat, etc. So the easiest way for us to stay in our budget and get a lot of food is to do these freezer meal preps, but do them in bulk. So total for all of this, I paid $43.47. I'm gonna put the list right here. The chicken was on sale, the zucchini was on sale. I was able to buy fresh broccoli. I usually buy frozen, but this was actually going to be more for cheaper. I didn't include the spices in this just because that's something that you get to really choose what you put in it. And if you don't want to invest in cumin, You can buy a taco packet, like the taco seasoning packet. Or if you don't want to buy the liquid aminos, you can buy soy sauce. So it's really just whatever you want to do. But for the $43.47, I was able to make 9 bags of meal preps, and that for us typically gets one dinner and then the next days of lunch. So that's 9 times 4, which is 36. So for $43.47 over 36 meals, comes out to be about $1.21 a meal. Now that doesn't include whatever rice, noodles, whatever starch you decide to put with it. This is just for those main ingredients that go into it. So of course it might fluctuate, but even for $2 or $3 a meal, I mean, it just doesn't compare. This is definitely something that is doable. It's something that is easy to keep up with. You put it in the freezer, pull one out the night before, let it thaw, stick it in the crock pot at lunch, or throw it in a pan whenever you get home and let it kind of simmer for 20-30 minutes and you've got dinner. I usually make up a big batch of rice every couple of days and just kind of portion it out with each meal. It's just that simple. It's easy for on the go. It's easy for those who stay at home. I'm telling you, it is doable. If you liked this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up so that we know this is the kind of stuff that you all like. And also, while you're here, hit the subscribe button and then hit the bell so that you'll always be notified when we upload. We're going to be uploading new videos at least once a week and you will not want to miss out. So with that being said, thank you for watching and we'll see you in our next video. Bye!